From KUNC and the NPR network, this is In the NoCo. I'm Erin O'Toole. Creede is a small former silver mining town in the heart of a canyon in the San Juan Mountains. It has about 300 full-time residents, and just about everywhere you look, you see reminders of the area's mining heritage, including the abandoned mines that surround the town. One thing that sets Creede apart from other mining towns in Colorado, it has a thriving local theater scene. In the 1960s, as the silver mining industry began to die out, the Creede Repertory Theatre opened with a handful of theater students. One longtime member of the company says it prompted interesting reactions from some residents.
I think when they first came to town, I don't think everyone was as tolerant or as accepting. This was kind of felt like a little invasion of weirdness.
That clip is from a new documentary called Creede USA. 60 years later, there's still some tension between the free-spirited thespians who visit each summer and the locals who work as ranchers or outfitters. Yet, somehow, they coexist. That dynamic and how everyone gets along with one another drew filmmakers Kahane Cooperman and Innbo Shim to make the documentary. Creede USA will be screened this Saturday during CSU's ACT Human Rights Film Festival in Fort Collins. Both Kahane and Innbo joined me ahead of the festival. Kahane, how did you first learn about Creede and what fascinated you about the town?
Well, I came across an article in the New York Times that was about the theater company. So what I gleaned from the article that it was a rather conservative town and that the theater company was less so.
Huh.
And on a personal level in 2021, I was just starting to question the value of my own choice to kind of live in a bubble around people who agree with me, who have the same point of view, who vote the same way. I was sick of my echo chamber, and I wondered about this town that has all kinds of people in it with different points of view. I'm like, well, I wonder how they function. There's no bubble that they can hide in and find comfort in. And I was curious. So I went and explored.
Briefly, how many performances does the company put on each summer, and how many people does it bring to Creede?
From end of May to mid-September, they have an average of 5 different performances. At some, they start out with one, and then a few weeks later, they open the next until they have all these performances going on at once. It's a repertory theater.
Okay.
So they're turning over sets, and actors are switching characters, multiple times in a week, if not in a day, throughout this entire summer. They are very hardworking professional theater company.
The title of this film is not Creede, Colorado. It's Creede USA. Innbo, what did you want to convey with that specific wording?
Well, I think that this small town, it seemed to really reflect conversations and sort of areas of potential division or real division that exist all over the country. Like they were having the same conversations that you read about in the newspaper that are happening all over the U.S., whether it's like guns in schools, pronouns, LGBTQ rights, health curriculums. All of that was happening in Creede. But the big difference there is that it's so small and so remote, people actually have to show up in a room together and talk things out. Whereas that's not necessarily happening elsewhere.
Creede is a place where residents are proud of their values and their mining legacy. It's maybe not the first place you think of for an arts and theater district. Kahane, you talked with some of the former miners who were around when the theater company started in the 60s. How do they say the theater company changed the town?
I think there were honestly mixed feelings. I mean, just the notion of a theater company coming to town, as one of our subjects says, miners don't like change. And I think that they were skeptical, but they also the town was down on its luck. And this was like this kind of, unusual idea. And the head of the JCs, which was all comprised of miners, said, let's give it a try. If it fails, we'll get out of it.
Yeah.
So they put up notices, but the only school to answer the call was these University of Kansas theater students who all arrived, right? And it worked. So it was started by these 12 students, but this is in the mid-'60s. So I think college students in the 60s were, of a certain free spirit, and these people came to this town.
Right.
And so there was a combination of community, embrace, and also suspicion.
I just want to note that the actor Mandy Patinkin from The Princess Bride and other films was an early cast member in the Creede Repertory Company. Here's a clip of him talking about his time there in your film, Creede USA.
It's an amazing privilege to get to connect. We get to do that job. And so to have an evening like tonight, where I don't care who you are or what you're from or what you look like or who you vote for, we're laughing together. That's a big deal.
Innbo, what did working on this film teach you about finding common ground across political divides?
So we filmed over the course of 3 years. The big thing that really pointed us towards some issues that are happening everywhere that aren't necessarily being dealt with in the same way across the board is the Board of Education meetings. It was open to the public. And over time, we saw all these discussions happen. It was about arming school staff. There was discussions about, what to include in the health curriculum.
Right.
And every day people would come and they would kind of really speak their truth about why they felt comfortable or uncomfortable with something. But at the end of the day, they also were in community with each other. They were literally neighbors by maybe a couple hundred feet. They had to see each other every day. And so there was a level of civil discourse that I just hadn't seen in a really, really long time.
And Kahane, what is a lesson that you hope people will take away from seeing this film?
I hope that after people see this, they look inward a little bit at the kind of assumptions they're making about others without meeting them and talking to them. And then how important it is to talk to each other, to engage, to get a little uncomfortable. It's okay. You will survive. Creede is not a utopia, but the way people engage there for the survival of their community, to me, is a model. And it's a hopeful step on a path towards something more positive for everyone. Creede does it for the survival of their community. Perhaps we all need to do it for the survival of our country. We can take a note from the pages of Creede. The way they engaged just inspired me and changed the way that I'm trying to engage and see others who I disagree with.
That's Creede USA director Kahane Cooperman and the film's co-producer Innbo Shim. It's part of Colorado State University's ACT Human Rights Film Festival, which opens this Thursday in Fort Collins. Creede USA will be screened Saturday, April 11th at the Lyric. We'll have more information about the documentary and the complete film festival lineup in our show notes and at kunc.org. That's it today for In the NoCo. I'm Erin O'Toole. Thanks so much for listening.